This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, let's get going. As I said earlier, William, I mean, all the agenda items I have on here deal with either research or updates. I mean, I guess for me, the first thing I'd kind of like to get an update on is that Sterling CSC, because are we now past the committed time frame for the days we had assigned to us?
Yes, we are. I did talk to Tanya Blaine, who is the Assistant Commissioner for DMV, who's over the CSCs, and we are going to continue with this process. We don't have an end date in sight, but we are going to continue. So we've already taken applications for next week.
Okay, so they've committed to continue this process until further notice. How's attendance going?
The last couple of sessions have been pretty packed. Last week, I want to say we had 44 or 45 people scheduled. And this week, tomorrow, we don't have quite 45, but we have up until 4 p.m. scheduled. So the last 2 weeks have been the biggest 2 so far.
And the biggest issue we were also dealing with was cancellations. Are we at least running the norm as what DMV would see, or are we still running a little bit high on cancellations?
We are running a little bit high compared to DMV, but we have significant improvement from past weeks. Last week, I think we had 5 people that were no-shows, and theoretically, it was only 4 people because one individual who did show up was refused testing because his record had no testing or no salesperson license clause on his record. That's something we need to address internally from 2013. But we only had 4 no-shows, which is the best we've had so far, especially the 35 people tests.
Yeah, really good. And are we hearing any complaints from around the state and any of the associations or anyone else? Are there any complaints that we're hearing of people that cannot get tested in a timely fashion?
I haven't heard from anybody recently. I don't suppose Don has, because he would have sent it to Tommy and I. So I mean, I think it's sort of, it's working its way through. So seems to be working well.
Okay, thanks, Ann. And we now have, William, is there 7 or 8 vendors now that are approved for background checks?
8 vendors now. Alliance, we just approved them this week. We got the contracts back from them, signed off on them, I want to say Friday. So we're up to 8 now. And I think I aired last conversation we had. We have 1 vendor out there, Hierology, who we've been talking to for over a year now. They were actually the second one we had brought on board over a year ago, at least started conversations with. They had to make some massive modifications to their process in order to become a vendor, and they're still working through that. So they will be the last one if they get to that point.
And you're really at this point not soliciting any additional suitors to become background check. Okay.
No. We only kept those who were in the process when we stopped this. So, and they're one of the ones who are in the process.
Okay. Any update on the whole email process, electronic mailbox for the licensing? I know you love when I ask that one. And if you would, could you please verify your response with bitmaps and all kinds of stuff to prove electronically it's working? Go ahead, take the floor, will you?
We do have an update for you. I think the process is now ready to be shared and put out there. So it will be in place before the next board meeting, which you will probably enjoy. In fact, it'll probably be out there sometime in the next couple of days. I will give you a very high level of how the process will work. As we said earlier, the dealerships have to download the software to send the documentation to us electronically, which would be just the MVB 61, which is salesperson application. On that application, the license, the applicant, and the dealership will fill it out. On that form should be the background check information that we would need to do the background check if it's an original salesperson application. They will be sent to us securely. We will receive it and process it accordingly. The biggest thing the most important thing is going to be that the dealership information should be the person or a person that we can contact to get the payment information from. That's going to be probably the biggest stickler, other than the background check. If those two things are in place, it should be a very quick approval and process.
So we've figured out the encryption piece. We've got the process. We need a good contact from the dealership because we're going to need to be able to do the billing side of this, right?
Exactly.
Okay. And we will, I guess, as we roll out this process, we will communicate that via dealer talk, or how will you get the word out as to?
Well, initially it'll go out constant contact, and then we'll work with the associations, of course, because VADA has a newsletter, a weekly newsletter they do that they will probably put in their newsletter. But constant contact will probably come out either tomorrow or Thursday at the latest with that information of the process, and we'll go from there. But then it'll be in the dealer talk as well for the next issue.
There may be constant contact, dealer talk, VADA, and VIADA's got a newsletter, I would suspect.
Right.
Okay.
We do.
Let me correct myself. I said constant contact. It's actually called SendPulse. But it's the same concept. It's just a communication that we send out via SendPulse.
SimPulse?
Yes, SendPulse.
Okay. You're not making that up, are you?
Nope.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think
I'm sorry, is that SIM or SIN Pulse?
No, SEND.
Send Pulse. Okay, got it. All right, thanks.
Okay. Yeah, I would think that's going to be the next key thing, is making sure we acclimate everybody with what they need to do. And our intent is to be able to electronically communicate back with them that, in fact, we received everything, the process is moving forward. And then, as Ann suggested many meetings ago, that they can look the next morning even and see whether or not the salesperson license has been approved, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Now on our side, we had to get our piece fixed, and we just got it fixed recently. So we're able to, I guess, electronically send things back to the dealership concerning that same application, encrypted as well. So our part is taken care of now, so we can do this.
Okay. And moving on, as far as, did you have a chance to research the whole other means of testing, identification, driver's license scans? Were you able to go down that path at all?
The secure testing with DMV?
Yes.
Yes, I was. I talked to one of the programmers for a couple hours about this. I'm not gonna give you a couple hour review though. The bottom line is, in the secure test process, DMV has it in place now with school systems throughout the state. They have it in place with Virginia Power Company and others to do various testings that DMV does at the CSCs for these entities. For the school system, of course, it's the learner's permit testing, and for Virginia Power, it's the driver escort testing for oversized and over-dimensional loads. The thing that we wanted, and the main thing that these programs have that we don't have right now, is a central location in the various regions in which it is desired to have the testing available. Of course, in the school systems, in the different schools, it's in the school, either in the computer lab or in the guidance counselor's office, where they can go ahead and have the kids take the test and take the examination. And the school people, of course, are the validators of the student's identity. They are who they are. With Virginia Power, they have their safety officer is the person who's responsible for validating that the people testing are who they are. But the bottom line again is that the computer system, the software itself, or the system, is at a fixed location, which DMV requires, because it will assign a location code to that location to capture the data and the information. So our biggest issue right now is that centralized location and that individual or that company or organization that would be responsible for validating the individual's identity. And then it's all done on the MOU at each location. The MOU between either the DMV and the location, or us and the location, or the three of us. There's an MOU involved. And the conversation did move around the fact that if they did such a thing for the dealer board and the dealerships like we want to be, it would be something that would have to be programmed, because our process is unique compared to the other entities who have it in place right now. So it'll be something that will take some programming, some work. They'll probably send anywhere from 6 to 8 months out tops to put something in place if we're able to fulfill the other requirements first.
So do we have any fixed locations around the state that we own that we could?
Nah,
no field offices or anything that we own that? Okay.
Not that I'm aware of. Like again, the dealerships want to do it.
Yeah, the dealerships. Well, yeah, but that leads that's a whole nother issue. So how do we think outside the box on that one? So we have to have a fixed location, and we would need to have geographic representation. How could we pull that off? We need to think about that one.
Some of the state universities that we could use.
Yeah, I mean, that's possible, but I think part of the problem that we're dealing with right now is during this pandemic, those places are closed. So it's not doing you any good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ron, I agree with you. At the dealership for challenge. I'd rather have it at a different place.
Yeah, we had that discussion. We really don't want to do it at any dealer locality. We really want to do it in a neutral position that would be representative of the geographies we need to cover. We need to think about that.
Unfortunately, Ron, it looks like it may be the state schools when they open back up again, if that's possible. That would be the only place where you could do it around the state and still have it in a controlled environment.
And that would work in a non-pandemic world, right? But the issue we've run into is every time, or not every time, but if we have a shutdown again, we'll have to deal with the fact that those universities and state colleges would be closed. Okay. I don't know. I need to think about that one as a team. And what other options would we have?
Well, I mean, part of the challenge also is going to be where we find that location. Then I guess the agreement with the host in terms of what they're willing to do, and is there going to be a cost to the state for them doing it? Because we are expecting somebody to provide a facility and provide a service to us, and as such, what's their compensation for doing so as well?